How would you describe or say that spirituality is connected to sustainability?
Spirituality is a humanity. Sustainability valuation, if you look at it, is aimed at human development, economic development, environment development, social development.
Kill not, cause no pain. Non-violence is the greatest religion.
Absolutely, that's Jain. Mahavir, what he says is every living soul has dignity.
Hello and welcome back to Green Generation. Today we're talking about something that's super interesting. We're going to touch base a little bit on spirituality and sustainability. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Jainism, Buddhism, Swami Vivekananda and Ramana Maharishi. And I'm going to shoot questions as a knowledge seeker to understand better. I'm Shruti Seetharaman, and with me I have Dr. Seetharaman. So I'm going to start with the very basics. How would you describe or say that spirituality is connected to sustainability?
Spirituality is a humanity. Spiritual development is an integration of your physical, mental, and transitional frame of your body. That's interconnected, and is interconnected with the augmented intelligence. That's nothing but spirituality. Sustainability valuation, if you look at it, is aimed at human development, economic development, environment development, social development. These are interconnected with humanity. So, if you are intrinsic in recognizing the core principles of spirituality, you will see sustainability is the main focus for this planet protection and living creatures.
Okay. And I'm going to dive into a couple of quotes that I've picked up on. Just for you to, I'm not sure if you can explain what they mean or how they're connected to sustainability, since we just talked about how they're connected. I'm going to start with Swami Vivekananda. And this one sounds a little bit basic, but maybe you can relate to spirituality or sustainability. He says, there's a quote that says, take risks in your life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide. How would you relate? This seems like a general life lesson in any way, but how do you relate this quote to sustainability, for example?
Risk in life is integral. Without risk taking, returns are not going to get generated.
Right.
If you look at the value creation in planet Earth, industry, innovation, infrastructure are all value creations. These are interconnected with business. Business is connected with risk management. The enterprise risk integration, which will be the type of risk. In today's term, it can be cyber risk, physical risk, liquidity risk, market risk, financial risk. They are all integrated to generate value-driven return to all the stakeholders, customers, regulators, shareholders, human capital, society at large. That's sustainability. Stakeholders capitalism is what we look at it when it comes to sustainability. Stakeholders sustainability capitalism is what we look at when it comes to spirituality.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Like maybe in layman language, so that I understand slightly better.
Sure. Now, let's talk about human capital. Swami Vivekananda talk about gender equality. The respect to women is the prime source of your stability, composure, and the success. Women empowerment is talking about. That is precisely defined as gender equality in United Nations Sustainable Development. And look at the connection. So, when it comes to taking risk in life, It's a business management. You have all sort of risk which I mentioned. Without taking risk, you don't accomplish anything, right? When a commercial engine has to operate, it has to take measurable risk. And that's what exactly Vivekananda advised. Take risk in life. If you win, you can lead. If you lose, you can guide what to not to do.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like if we want to focus on sustainability and we want to take actions to be sustainable, it almost sounds like taking calculated risks for the better good.
Absolutely.
Right?
You got it.
At least that's what I understand.
Yeah.
Another quote is which says, "In a conflict between heart and the brain, follow your heart." I feel like this is something that you've also always propagated. And I feel, again, this feels like very much like a life lesson.
See, the entire world is built on truth as axiom. The drive is towards the truth. Integration of your heart and mind is eternal. There's no death for it. Your soul is eternal. Now, if you recognize soul is eternal, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are the soul. All living creatures have soul. Living creatures, irrespective of the form, it can be a dog, it can be a human. You understand these dynamics are having very similar reflection in terms of the bigger picture, the heart and mind. Now, it could be even insects. There is a mind to it, there is a heart to it. So, if there is a conflict between the heart and mind, you stick to the truth. That is heart. That's why even when you tell prayers, we put our hand here, right? So, mind is clever. It can jump. It can get infatuated on many subtle forms. Whereas heart cannot be deceptive. If there is a conflict between the heart and mind, you have to resolve this. Then you don't have peace. One of the sustainable development goal is peace and happiness. You have to build the just. That's the prosperity. So, conflict is common for individual or institutions or countries. It is important we recognize, we stick to the truth. The truth is here.
I mean, I always thought the heart is what fell for the infatuations, or is the one that caused the trouble, but it seems like the mind.
Heart is emotional. Let me reframe a bit. But it can only, be compassionate. It can only give the emotion without any inhibition towards truth. It's true reflection. Mind can be deceptive.
Yeah,
it can get carried away with bias. It can be smarter. It is this real, this is smarter. So there is, both are powers.
Yeah.
If there is conflict between reality and the smartness, then you have to see the reasoning. You have to reconcile it. You have to listen to one. One, I would prefer heart.
That's great advice for general anyway. Always follow your heart. We've heard that before. Okay, I'm moving on to another one which says, "A man is not poor without a rupee, but a man is really poor without a dream and ambition."
As Abdul Kalam said the same. If you don't sleep, then you have to think. There's a deep-rooted thinking going on to aspire something. This aspiration is your ambition. Your dream should be big so that you are not allowed to sleep. So it is the drive for your long-term success. So deep-rooted thinking is what we aspire for.
And in terms of sustainability, dream big to be sustainable.
It is shared vision when it comes to planet development as a whole, human development as a whole. Now, when we say all are equal, everyone should get everything, it is not communism. Communism is changing its form and substance. Capitalism is also altering its form. Now, what we need is to make sure humanity is not deprived with the basics. Everyone should get basic food, shelter, education, healthcare. If you aim at human development, sustainable development for the humanity, then it makes sense for us to recognize this opportunity.
Interesting how all of these life lessons are also connected to spirituality, or how we want to look at it to be connected to spirituality. I feel like these are things we might have heard in some way or form in life anyway from people who are experienced, but they seem so interesting when you look at it from the aspect or through the lens of spirituality or sustainability.
Spirituality, as I said in the beginning, irrespective of the faith where you come from, whichever be the part of the world. I have stamped over 100 countries in my passport. I have seen the human emotions. I have gone to all 6 continents. Intensively I have traveled. Human aspirations are same. Everyone wants to become more purposeful, meaningful in this planet. If you create equal opportunities, that's what we should do. A better world will evolve. And irrespective of the fortune you inherit, where you come from, what you are born with, we have to look at the equality, gender equality, zero hunger, elimination of extreme poverty, reducing the income inequality. These are testaments which we have to aim at it to bring prosperity to humanity.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going with one more quote, which says, "Learn everything that is good from others, but bring it in, and in your own way absorb it. Do not become others."
Absolutely beautiful statement.
Yeah.
That's Vivekananda again. See, you don't want to miss out the best of everyone, but you don't need to copy them, because you have your own uniqueness. Everyone is unique in the value creation. If there are 7 billion people, all the 7 billion people are unique, even within the sibling definition. That's what it is. You identify your uniqueness. That's what the smartness is all about. That's what the integration is all about. That's what the realization is all about. If you understand your strength, weakness, you will create your own destiny. Destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice.
Yeah.
The more you have, again, deep insight through meditation, everything is internal, you will find that you can create your own USP. You can create your own destiny. You can create your own drive and determination path. But you can always plus the other's strength and replicate the model within you. But you don't become others because you are unique. That's what the purpose of creation, value of the creation is all about. It's quite unique. Every individual, every living creature, the form could be the same, human beings or even any animals, but each one has their own uniqueness. That's the beauty of the creation.
I mean, I feel like this is super interesting for me as a content creator also to absorb, because generally that's what they say, right? Like now content creation is such a crowded space that they say find what's unique to you, because it's no longer, initially it might have been how comfortable you're with a camera, how you present yourself. And sometimes people follow trends, and of course that's great, following trends and following suit and learning from other people and replicating and recreating. But they always say what's going to make you stand out in the long term is find your unique selling point.
You have your uniqueness simply because if you understand self-excellence is always the best, you will never have low self-esteem for you. You don't need to compare anyone. You cannot compare anyone. Education, experience, environment is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone.
No two people are the same.
Yeah. then you cannot say why he got it, I don't get it. You are happy with what you have and you can excel with what you have. That's the spiritual science, which is again the purpose of sustainable value creation.
Interesting. Okay, I'm sure all of you have more questions, and I'm sure there's a lot more Vivekananda quotes that we can get started on. But I'm going to quickly move on to some quotes from Jainism and try and connect them, or you will try and connect them to spirit sustainability, and try and explain to us how those life lessons or these quotes also make sense.
Yeah.
But of course, if you do have questions, don't forget to ask us, and we'll be sure to address them as soon as possible. Okay, so I'm going to start with kill not, cause no pain. Non-violence is the greatest religion.
Absolutely, that's Jain.
Yeah.
Mahavir, what he says is every living soul has dignity. The non-violence is ultimate. One of the sustainable development goal is peace. Why to kill a living creature? If you look at even goal 13, global warming and climate change, killing an animal, it's not a religion or a faith. Killing an animal has consequential impact in terms of carbon emission.
Yeah. And they say like the ozone layer right above, butcheries are the most affected part of the ozone layer that's depleting. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what exactly your human designs are all about. If you synchronize with the nature, eat nature, live nature. Now today we are seeing tremendous amount of health consciousness among the younger generation. They become vegan even. Some are vegetarians, some are now even going to the next step.
A lot of people becoming more conscious about animal cruelty as well, but also about nutrition, about the environment, about some of them don't even have intolerances, like it's not personal anymore. A lot of them do it because of environmental reasons.
Yes, yeah. Environmental reasons. Because we know the carbon emission when you administer killing for animals. So that's what it is. So the real religion, the real faith is non-violence. And that's what Gandhi has practiced throughout his freedom struggle. So Mahavir or even Buddha is talking about non-violence throughout their discipline. These are philosophies, they are not religion. These are way of life, so that you can achieve sustainable values. You can also spiritually connect yourself as better humans. Our job is to create better world, keep enhancing the state of the world for the future generation. That's the only thing we can do. We cannot take away anything. We can give the maximum to make sure the future generation is well off than the present. Think about it.
Yeah, and absolutely, I think non-violence is something that definitely should be propagated. Condoning violence in any way or form, whether sometimes not speaking against it, even if it's happening to somebody else, is as bad as not practicing it in your personal life. I mean, I think it should be spoken about or spoken against. Violence should be spoken against, even if it's happening to someone near you. So non-violence is a great virtue that should be followed generally in life anyway. So, okay, we're going to move on to anger begets more anger, and forgiveness and love lead to more forgiveness and love.
Absolutely. Both are complementing in one way. If you know how to forgive, mistakes can happen. You are not willful when you do certain occurrence can be treated as a mistake. But the recipient should understand you are not done intentionally and I should forgive. It is possible that you have a temporary dislocation of your controls. If I realize if I have to forgive you, it gives peace for me, less anger to me. In fact, anger is an insanity, as I always claim, because it's only self-inflicting. it can create enough damage for you and the others. It's
I
not
think the
logical.
reactions while you're angry
Yeah,
are
so
more
learn to
insanity than the
forgive.
emotion.
Take blame on you for the reflection of somebody's mistake. I'm not saying you own the gravity of it or take the responsibility for it. Take it as a reflection that your own, you have to have an insight to believe that your own conduct could have reflected as an anger. So
Fair,
think about it.
yeah.
So if you start forgiving,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. You are saving your energy. You are also making sure you are not inflicting on others, and you are giving a direct lesson for correction for others to come back in track.
I mean, talking about forgiveness, I think for the longest time, whenever you spoke to me about forgive them, I said, no, I can't. Because in my head, the definition of forgiveness was sort of saying it's okay that somebody did something that I didn't like or was not okay with. And then with time, I realized that forgiveness is only not holding on to negative emotions, whether it's hate or anger or resentment towards somebody. It doesn't mean you have to be normal with the person in terms of their actions or their behavior. You don't have to make them your best friend again. You don't have to be okay with the things that happened, but you're not thinking about it and you're not unhappy about it. But that also brings me back to when you say forgive, a lot of people say forgive and forget. I feel like now that I have this not new understanding, or understood forgiveness better, I'm able to forgive in the way that don't hold on to negative emotions, don't hold on to people's actions because they're responsible for it. But I don't think I very easily forget. I still remember if you've hurt me in a way that, I mean, I'm not someone who's nitpicky on every small thing that you do that could have hurt me, but there are significant things. That's the ones that hurt the most, right? I think I struggle a little bit with forgetting that you've ever done it. So I'm able to forgive you, but I'm cautious. So what do you think, or do you say that forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean forgetting completely, or do you think this quote says
Lesson
forgive
learned
and
is more
forget?
important. See, nobody can erase the thoughts. Lesson learned out of this incident is vital. You don't erase from your memory jogging. It gets logged anyway. So forget is not the right word. Forgive is the right word. You can never forgive if you have anger.
Right.
If you are able to forgive, not forget, there's nothing wrong with that. Because it's not going to create any impact in you except the lesson learned for future action.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to move up in the value chain. We don't want grudge. We don't want grudge. We don't want to keep it in our heart and mind and conflicting time and again. I want to return it back. You don't need to return. That is a beautiful concept. Let me explain to you. If you are hitting me by words, it's called Eid in Latin terms. That's my ego is tested. I'm going to return back by my superego. I want to punish him. That thought is enough. I have fired it. I don't need to physically hit you.
Yeah.
So the very fact that you are hurt and you are reflecting your emotion is enough to persuade your future action, and you get self-infliction yourself without me touching you. So that is why we always see, if you understand the seeds which you are sowing in your head, thoughts are most powerful, more than the physical action. So it's very important you keep thinking right. Even if you hurt me, I don't need to be emotionally cursing you to give it back. That can cause damages to you. So I wish for the best for you. So I reject it, number one. This is the highest sense of self-control, right?
Yeah.
So it is not easy to have this habit, but you develop that habit, and that's what spirituality gives you. the wisdom. Spirituality is enlightening your broader senses and give you the peace and prosperity for you to perform in this planet with a sustainable value.
Okay. I think that's a great note to sign off on. Thank you and see you in the
Thank
next
you very
episode.
much.
Bye-bye.